This is the place for an intro. And whatever I say, I think, is an intro. I was actually trying to read that in the Cyrillic, and it turns out that I can't. Oh, let's read the title, though. That I can tell, that's pretty easy giveaway. Diana Ankudinova, that's her name. And then Tolitia. I don't know if that's right. Tolitia? Is that thing an L? I remember it kind of being an L. Ah, whatever. Like I said, I can't fucking read it. No. I don't know. But she is very weird. Awesome, but weird. Because she has this very strong contralto. She's got this very low register voice. I've only done 3 of her videos. And every time it's like, oh yeah, that's where your voice is. So that's what we're doing. And we're gonna do it now. Let's go. Did not expect the sax dance thing, okay? That's an alto sax, right? I feel like everything is a musical game where I'm supposed to know every instrument, so I'm guessing that's alto sax. No. Oh my God, this is that 1970s like disco song. This is Venus. I got it, da 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 da. Yeah, baby, she's got it. It's that song? That's fucking random. I used to have this, oh my God, story time. If you're new here, you need to just fucking dip out. I used to drive around when I was 16 years old. I had a Nissan pickup truck where the entire interior was like just gone. It didn't exist because like it was just an old thing. And so I had the speakers that your speakers have magnets on the back. And so I'd actually take my little 6-inch speakers and I would just stick them to the roof. You can put them anywhere, as long as like the speaker wire could reach. You just stick them anything. Like if it's all exposed metal, they just like stick. And I had this 80s cassette that I got from Walmart. That was probably $2 of like 80s hits or 70s, whatever, would just dance hits. And this was on it. And I would be driving around and just listening to these fucking dance songs that I never listened to outside of that environment, but then I fell in love with them because they were always on repeat on the fucking cassette. Repeat on the cassette, by the way, means you play one side all the way through and it just clicks over and it plays the other side again. But yes. This other one, she blinded me with science, was also on that. Music is a flashback. All I can picture right now is not this. I can picture myself leaving my first job at 16, my first legal job at 16, and driving to a Walmart to hang out because I didn't want to go home. So I would go to a Walmart and this would be playing and I would just go to the magazine aisle and just like read magazines for an hour and a half and then I would go home. It's not entertaining, it's what happened. Oh, Oh, there's that low. Nice high, squeal. Is it really "And Your Desire"? I thought I've always misremembered it. I always thought it was like "What's Your Desire?" I guess "And Your Desire" makes more sense. I guess it's a lyric. I've just always remembered wrong. This is not like any of her other videos. Not only the fact that it's disco pop, but that she's in that upper range. But her strength, I think her strength is that really low end where you go, how is she sounding that way? But no, she just sounds very good. She's like, oh, she sounds like a great singer. But she's got that lower register, like, sorry, Halloween just happened, you know. So like, I'm like the hand coming out of the ground, like a bass note coming out, like grabbing you and pulling you down. Yeah. She's barely flexed that though. Don't hit your sax, dude. Oh, by the way, the sax he's doing an awesome job. Love the sax. Can't not love it. It's super good. I do like this very uncomfortable part where neither of them have a thing to do and it's like just a dance breakdown and like, oh, well, fuck, I can't play right now and I can't sing right now. Let's act like we're very cool with this, because it's like, I don't know, it's like one of those things that unless you're like, you've been a performer, like you've never really dealt with, maybe in a play or something, you've been like an extra or something, you know, high school, middle school, whatever. But usually you're either doing something or you're about to do something. So when you're doing it, you do it. And when you're about to do it, you're in your head thinking about the thing you're about to do. But when you have even like a, however long that is, 8 measures or whatever, where there's nothing going on, it doesn't seem like it's that long. Maybe it's only 15 or 20 seconds. But for 15 or 20 seconds, you're like, what do I do with my hands? Where do I look? All of a sudden, all this shit pops in your head and you don't even know what to do. You're like, do I swing my arms? Do I put my arms by my side? Do I put it in my pocket? And where do I look? Do I look at the audience? Do I look like a little above them? I look over there. Do I look at the person on stage? And then like time goes by so slow that you start kind of doing everything. Like you look at the person on stage for like 3 seconds because it feels like 15. You look for 3 and you look somewhere else and it's like the most weird thing ever. I would say maybe, you know what, out of all musical performance, that's the thing that is least talked about, is these areas where you don't know what to look at and you don't know what to do with your body because you think the whole problem is performing. But if you practice, you should be fine. You know, if you practice and you're diligent, you should be okay. But this whole thing, I'm saying small things. Like maybe when you practice, you never look at your shoes. You just practice. Then you're on stage and you're looking at the audience, but you're not doing anything. So you look down at your shoes. Now you're looking at your shoes and you're like, I never looked at my shoes before. And now you're actually looking at your shoes and it distracts you from what's going on. You're like, what's going on here? What am I doing? Yeah, it's really, you can see how stressful it can be. It's like, I'm going through it with them right now. Now let's back up. I want to see how long this section is. Hold up. right there. That's it. That's it. Hold on. It was 7 measures, I think, which is not that long, but it is kind of an eternity on stage. And now she can't sing right now, so she's still like, oh, wait, do I have choreography for this? She's doing great. She's doing great. Also, one more. I mean, like little subtle things. I don't know if I'm right. But little small things is a lot of times when singers, when they're in the groove and they're holding the mic down low, they pull the mic up right in time to sing. But if you notice here, she actually pulls the mic up for like 2 to 3 beats before she has to sing. Now you could say she's getting prepared. It could be. That could be it at all. But it also could be like, I wish I was singing, not like I need to be having the spotlight, but if I'm singing, I know what I'm doing. I know what's actually happening. I'm singing right now. And so actually bringing the mic up and holding it for a second and then singing. As in like, I can't wait for the singing part to happen again, so I don't have to like sit here moving around and entertaining people with things that are not my voice. I think it's right here. It's only like 2 beats, but it's like, it's early. Right there. Right? 1, 2, boom. Yeah, I would actually say out of all their performances, this is the least impressive. She did a great job. But she just sounds like, please don't, whatever. People are going to flame, or they're not waiting for this long in the video to flame. But she is so talented with her vocal range that I think her range is one of the most impressive aspects of her singing. And she sounds fantastic here. There's nothing, I don't have a single negative thing to say about her vocal performance. Her vocal performance is super strong, but I don't think it actually shows at all the specialty she has in her singing. Dude, her low bass range is pretty unreal. I can't even think of another female singer that has a low range and mixing with the high range, but that low end, it's just like haunting what she's capable of. And it's not really featured here at all. Yeah, so that's a reaction. I reacted to it. One more thing about how weird things can be on stage. One of my first times playing, and maybe you don't give a fuck, it's cool, you don't have to give a fuck, you know? One of my first times playing like a paid gig, I was 16, and I only know because like I was able to drive to it. I was in that same fucking truck, and I went out to do this solo classical thing. It was for a dance company, so they were in between doing one set versus another set, so they're like, I don't know, changing costumes and shit. And so I'm playing, it's a pretty easy gig in retrospect, but it was my first one, so like, hey. But I only had to play like 10 minutes or 15, something very small, like just enough for them to change their wardrobe backstage, and then I'm done. And I left my wallet in my pocket, my left side pocket. And when I play classical guitar, a lot of classical guitarists, we put our guitar on the left leg. And so I went out there and I was in my tux and the audience clapped. Probably not a big audience, maybe not big. 100, 150 people maybe. And they do that thing where, like, when you walk out on stage, like, audiences know, typically, given the venue, they just know way to behave. So it's not like they don't know me. They've never heard me play. But the person walks out, you fucking clap. It's just a thing in that environment. So I'm walking out with the guitar, got my tux on. Oh yeah, let's do our fucking thing. And they're like clapping. I'm like, oh my God, they're actually clapping. I haven't done anything yet. This is fucking awesome. And I sit down with the guitar and I put the guitar on my leg and it hits my wallet. And I'm immediately thinking like, oh, I don't like how this feels. And I'm looking at the audience. It's dead silence. I'm thinking about what I'm about to play. And I'm feeling the wallet. I'm looking at the audience. And I, for real, I can't remember the exact hand gesture, but I don't know if I did a finger or something, but like hold on. Like I mouthed to hold on. You know, I didn't say it because they couldn't hear me from the stage. So I'm like hold on. And I stood up, took my wallet out of my pants and just dropped it next to the chair and sat back down, and they actually laughed. It wasn't a joke. I needed to get the wallet out of the way. But it's one of those things I realized, oh my God, like if I have to have this wallet under my guitar for 15 minutes pushing into my thigh, there's no way I can play this. I'm 16. I'm freaking out. And I was like, I gotta get rid of the wallet. And until that moment, that's the first time in my life that I ever was like, oh, my wallet's a problem. And until you're like in the moment, you don't realize that you have like, oh, this is an issue. And there's bunches and bunches of those. Where do I look? Do I actually make eye contact with the people I can see? Depending on how bright the lights are, you can always see the first, one or two rows always. Do you actually look at each person? Do you look in the middle and then the left and the right? Some people have this weird one where they look above the audience. They're never looking at anyone, but the audience knows you're never looking at anyone, so that's kind of weird too. And if you're not going to look at people in the eye and you're not going to look above them, so where are you looking? Are you going to look down at the ground? Are you going to look up in the air? My professor called me out on that once. He said, hey man, I want to know, did you put your music up on the ceiling? I was like, no. And he's like, well then why the fuck are you always looking up in the ceiling? Didn't know I was doing that. You have to find a place to look. It's these other things that are beyond music, which is the visual aspect of music. So, yeah. Just because I saw both of them, the sax player and Diana, both having to be busy on stage for only 15 seconds. But that is an eternity on stage of oh, we have to be busy, but neither of us is playing an instrument. Neither of us. Because if one person's playing, you can always look at the other person. So if the sax player is killing it, you can always look at the sax player and be like, that's some dope shit you're doing. Or if the sax player's not playing and the singer's playing, same thing. Look at the singer. Oh, wow, it's an amazing voice. But if neither are you playing, what are you going to look at? You're going to look at each other dancing? It seems trivial. It seems trivial. I promise you, it will break your mind when you are actually in that environment. You'll be like, I have no idea what to do with myself right now. No clue. And this is it's like being awkward at a party times 100. Because I don't know how big that crowd is. That's probably a couple thousand people. But imagine that you're at a party with 300 people and there's two of you on stage and there's 298 people and all they're doing is looking at you. And then you're like, I do, what now? And all you're waiting for is the next opportunity to play because at least you know what to do when you're playing or you're singing. That you're ready for. But those little gaps, they destroy your mind. And that is a reaction to Diana. I had a good time. Bye.